My name's Hugo Cole, and we're in my workshop. And I started in the jewelry business doing repairs for other stores, and it's evolved. And the evolution really started is, when I found my first hubs. In the travel section of the Washington Post, Providence, Rhode Island was featured as a destination. And we go up there, and of course, I knew that Providence had some importance with jewelry. I just didn't know how much importance at the time. But we get this little sort of touristy map thing, and you can see on the map that the Providence Jewelry District is marked out on the map. It exists there. Of course, there is really no Providence. It's empty lots and vacant buildings. But while I was there, I tried to do as much jewelry stuff as I possibly could, and I went to a place that deals in used jewelry manufacturing equipment. But the place was a wreck. Part of the roof had collapsed due to snow, and there was a crew there picking up rubble and throwing it in a dump truck. And so they got this forklift under this metal cabinet that was just falling apart, and they lift it up. They're about to heave it over in the truck, and the cabinet breaks open, and its contents spills on the floor, 20 feet away from me. And I walk over there just to see what it was, and they're hubs. And so, the guys pick it up and they heave it all in the truck, and the truck drives off. And I'm going, this can't go to the landfill. And I don't even really know what it is at this point, but I know it's great art. And so I hop in the car, and Chase gets after this truck. When I can pull alongside of it, I'm beeping my horn. I got the window rolled down. I'm yelling at this guy, and I guess he thinks I'm telling him he's got a flat tire or something's wrong, and he pulls over. And I get out of the car and I walk up there, and I take $1,000, which is all the money I sort of had on me, out of my pocket, and tear it in half and give him half and say, if you just wait here while I get some of this trash off the back of your truck, I'll give you the other half. Which he does. I mean, I probably could have done this with $200, but I'm sort of in a panic to get this stuff, and I get it. And I get it back here. And so it was in the research of trying to find what do I have is my path to Peter.
The actual word hub or hub is an English word. It's not a pretty word, but in Italian, la creatura, the creation. That's a better word. It's the beginning of a piece of jewelry. There's an online retail of jewelry called either Milky Way, I think it's Milky Way Jewelry, the bar. So I walk by her booth and I see this. I said, oh my God, I'm not sure, but this could be my holy grail, meaning I'm going to go back to my archive, and I'm going to sift through thousands of blocks of steel, and I'm going to try and find something, which I did. And I went back to her show, and she took this pin out of the box, and I laid it in the die, and it was the die that made this. It's a remake. The sterling is, instead of 1935 sterling, it's 2011 sterling, but it's the same die, the same tools, the same ghosts, and out comes the same piece. So you'll be able to look and see. I mean, he's a ring maker. I'm going to show you ring tools that were made 150 years ago that still work today. My early years, it was being a Boy Scout and doing leatherwork and woodwork that really started to get me into shapes and motion. My uncle, he was the guy who saw all the things being destroyed in the late 70s and early 80s, and he said, who's ever going to know how to do this? Who's going to make this oval dish? Or, so it was shapes and motions. He says, memorize them, keep them, hold on to them, never let them go. So I was influenced both by the Scouts and by him. And it's 30-some-odd years later, and I think we've captured all that essence. And you might not be a silversmith, you might not be a jeweler, but you'll kind of stare at it and say, what in the hell are they doing with this thing? So I'm curating the sale of all these, because we just don't need them all.
One of the things he's done in accumulating this incredible collection is save stuff from being destroyed.
He is the impetus to save a part of American history that no one knows about. you know, and he's there holding the ship up, keeping it right before it sinks. And so for him to find Hugo was a wonderful thing.
We both love this art form. We both appreciate the great artistic and technical skill it takes to make this stuff. And we're both aggravating, intense, emotional people.